time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Let's get it. Yep.
Read it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same. And now it's here.
It's here. Or shall I say, I am.
I am.
Come on. They really say ain't no party like a cowboy party. What about a Law Nation's groove? From my studios to yours, Cowboys training camp recap, plus Rams joint practice overview. Five, four, three, two. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight. One. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in. The name is Law Nation. Without hesitations nor deviations to the matter. Appreciate you guys so much for all that you guys do. And we will have joint practice tomorrow. Shout out to y'all. Thank you, everybody, man. We will have joint practice tomorrow. The grind for your mind. All right, appreciate you. Shout out to VA boy Brende. Appreciate you. C. Clark, VA Boys fan. Appreciate you. Mary Cole, thank you for jumping in and being part of this. Yeah, everybody that's here watching, appreciate y'all. Now, Parsons was at practice today. Shout out to you, Lamar. Thank you for being an ambassador of sharing. Parsons was at practice today. And, of course, he's talking to Matt Eberflus. And shout out to John Machota for capturing this moment here. And it appears that, you know, we can get things going the best way possible with him. And then we got a chance to see George Pickens do some great things out there. My thoughts on George Pickens overall, I think that when you start talking about covering a guy that can pretty much catch intermediate routes, do the jump ball thing, catch slants, free up opportunities for Jake Ferguson, free up opportunities for CeeDee Lamb, and being another one type wide receiver for your quarterback. When I say one, meaning that someone that can demand the better DB to cover him, meaning that there's going to be a drop-off on the other DBs, right? So when I'm looking at my guy, George Pickens, I'm thinking a multitudes of things. I'm looking at the way he greets the ball, the way he attacks it while it's in the air, the possibility of knowing and understanding that now you got someone that can win his one-on-ones right next to CeeDee Lamb or on the opposite side, and that should free up a lot of things. The Cowboys last season was ranked, 25th or 29th in offense, somewhere around there. Well, you can book it that the Cowboys about to be top 5 in this offense. Just sure along if you have a healthy Dak Prescott, and then if these guys can stay attached. And that meaning is a George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, Kevontae Turpin been doing great things as well. And I appreciate it, everybody. I know it's late on the East Coast, but it's only 7:40 where I'm at, so 7:50 now. So yeah, you guys got to get adjusted to the time frame. You know, Jaydon Blue, he's another guy that we can all sit back and say, man, even if we can get a poor man's Chris Johnson, I think that was his name back in the days, that played for the Tennessee Titans. If we can get a poor man's version of that out of him oh my goodness, it'll be a great thing for us. My guy Scott Walker states that he kind of remind him, and I'm talking about Jaydon Blue, of a Jamal Charles. I'm taking either one of these guys. I'm taking a Chris Johnson. I hope I'm saying his name right for the Tennessee Titans. Y'all remember him? I think he got close to 2,000 yards or something like that in one season. But he was fast. Oh yes, he was fast. Or a poor man's Jamal Charles. Man, come on with it. I think that we can find something really nice in this particular situation. And what surprises me more about Jaydon Blue than anything is that he can run in between the splits. That's the weirdest thing. And I'm gonna knock on some wood. He haven't put the ball on the ground yet. So I'm looking at him. I'm hoping that this guy can be one of those guys that can hit the NFL by element of surprise. I know a lot of people was talking about what's his name, Bucky Irving from on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last season. Was a very shifty, smaller back that made some impact for that particular team. I'm looking at Jaydon Blue. He's faster. This guy's fast. I think he's by far one of the faster running backs that we seen in a long time. There is that flip houses. Did the joint practice happen already? No, it's going to be for tomorrow. But we're going to do an overview. We're going to look at things and I'm going to showcase who I want to shine. And Jaydon Blue is one of the guys that I really want to shine in this particular space, Cowboy Nation. I think that he can give us something. All right. And let's go to the next slide right here. Here's George Pickens, man. Once again, middle of the field. You got to cover every blade of grass when you got these guys out there. Keep this on your mental mindset too, Cowboy Nation. When you are thinking about a guy like a George Pickens and what he's able to do, all of the highlights and the attributes I talked about earlier, let me add this one to the table. The ultimate ability to give you yak as well. That's yards after catch. Let me say this again. The ultimate ability to give you yak, yards after catch. Now he ain't had to do the other guy like that. Now, of course, defense is not able to put you on the ground. Tomorrow, there will be the same rulings that they can't put the red jerseys on the ground, and it's supposed to be, two-hand touch and all of this. And I'm going to tell y'all, by me watching joint practices, it may start off as a little bit of respect, but then after you do a few of these, then they say, okay, all right, let me go ahead and let them know. So tomorrow, look for some bang-bang action, at least here and there. All right, this is Javonte Williams, the guy that may be penciled in as the starter. The Miles Sanders is going through a rotation of situations as far as recovery, so he didn't give a good doses of practice. But you're going to have to look at it like this. This running back room is such a big room, so many big areas of need, and it's a war of attrition. If you can't stay healthy, that could be a problem for you down the stretch. So it's going to be a situation and scenario that hopefully Miles Sanders get back out there in the mix and give us something. But if not, everybody else steps up into that spot. And I tell people all the time, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have the opportunity and not be prepared. Now, with this situation, we talking about running backs. The easiest transition from college level to the pros. And when you have two guys that's hungry, I'm seeing more and more reps of Phil Mafah and Jaydon Blue. meaning that if Deuce Vaughn don't get his tailback out there, then there could be some other changes on this particular lineup. And now Miles Sanders, if he don't get his butt back out there, there could be a different change of lineup. So I'm just putting this out there. Um, Markel Thomas, I don't know for sure. I'm going to save some of this information. I'm going to save some of this information for tomorrow and get things going. But I would say that he could be, and I'm going to let John Machota speak upon that. He could be out until we get back to Dallas. So that's the 19th or the 20th, right around that time frame when they have camp kicking back up in Dallas. But we will soon see. But shout out to Javonte Williams for still standing tall into the mix. Jake Ferguson here. Always a good safety release valve. The $50 million tight end, supposedly he should be back into the mix and getting things going. I think that with all of that being said, you got a guy now that knows that he's the number one guy. And it feels different. You can see the countenance on his face. You can see the vibe and the energy that he brings to the table. 87, to me, is about to be a number that most people are going to say, once it's all said and done, it's going to be very much so well respected in the tight end community for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if it's going to be up there with the 82s and the 84s as it relates to tight end, but it's going to be up there if this guy continue to excel. And, of course, if the quarterback to the tight end stays into that happy medium of relationship of being healthy and these sorts of things. So I think highly of him. I do. All right, so let's move to the next one here. This Phil Mafah taking advantages of the situation. Shout out to my guy, John Machota, too, for these clips. As you guys can go to Twitter and go to John Machota's page, and you'll see all of these clips here available, right? But let me tell you, from this particular guy, Phil Mafah, he has the ability to run through A or B gap, and you just can't get him down with just an arm. He is a bigger bruiser type of back, power back with some shifty wheels to him, and with an opportunity as a lead back, I think that he can get that too. Granted, the reasons I'm saying that is because Jaydon Blue never had those opportunities, and he may be a little bit more experienced in that department. But I do like what I'm seeing out of Phil Mafah since he's been getting more reps, and Deuce Vaughn been rehabbing and trying to get back out there on the field. So he is taking extreme measures of taking advantages of this situation. Yeah, Jay Business says he looks fast. Law. He's not a slow guy. He's not a slow guy. He when you look at his tape, you might say, okay, all right, cool. He's not a blazer either, but I don't think that he's a slow guy either. So, and like I said, you just can't just go and arm tackle him. So he got enough speed to separate you. And look at CeeDee Lamb, Cowboy Nation. We bringing slant back to the table, man. Oh my God, they are opening up this offense a whole lot better than what we used to see before out of CeeDee Lamb or out of these wide receivers. And I do like the aspect of slants, being able to free a guy and don't allow him to stop his feet. Normally those hitches or comebacks, and nothing wrong with it, hooks and stuff like that, button hook routes, they're cool, or stop routes, that's okay. But I want my offense to keep it moving. A body in motion stays in motion. Just simple. Keep it moving, and those are things that I'm looking for. Yes, indeed. Let's look at somebody said Dak Prescott looks slow. Well, this Dak Prescott on a motion on a run, I don't want him to be blazing and running too much. I just want Dak Prescott to run only when it's necessary, right? To evade, give the defense, make the defense play honest. Will he be a guy that moves around like a Jalen Hurts? No. Josh Allen? No. Will he move around like Mariotas of the world? No. It's not his game. But I do need for him for when it's time for him to get outside is to do that. So keep it just like that, and everything else will work its way out. Yeah. Just evade when it's necessary. Keep your eyes down. Keep your eyes down the field, and then throw. That's what you're paying your running backs for. You're paying them to run. Yeah. So that's what I would do. Cavante Turpin right here, ladies and gentlemen. And we drop back. He throws it underneath, and look at that. Like I said, you're going to see more of these players catching the ball while they in motion, not stopping their feed. A body in motion stays in motion, ladies and gentlemen, and they are taking the approach of let's keep this offense not stale. We give you motion before the play, and then we hitting our guys in motion, in stride, and we're going to hit you with a few run games, a few elements. We can stretch you out east and west, and then we can penetrate north and south. So that's what they're doing, stretching you out east and west, penetrating north and south. And that's what we like to see, ladies and gentlemen. And then we got speed, boy. We got speed out there on the field. And Ace Boogie says, I hope Mafah makes the 53. Yeah. Jay Business said that's what we need. I agree, Jay Business, man, I agree. All right, so this Jalen Brooks. He caught an unbelievable pass over here. And I was talking on the sidelines on that clip, and I was saying that Jalen Brooks got 9 lives. And I know 24 is hot because he thought for sure he had him a pick. But that's why I want my DBs to greet the ball aggressively, come back to the ball, and he just attacked the ball. And those who attack the ball the most will win 9 times out of 10. And with Jalen Brooks, reason why I'm saying he got 9 lives, if we talk about the wide receivers that's available or that's able on this team, let's go with the wide receivers that we do have. Let me see if I can pull this up. I don't know if I can on the fly, but we're going to pull up this right quick. The Dallas Cowboys wide receiver roster consists of CeeDee Lamb. Now, I'm just going to go off the top of my head. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, those two right there, those would be your untouchables, right? You move them to the left side. Then you have Jalen Tolbert, Mingo, Ryan Flanoy. I think that Jalen Tolbert, he fits into that category because last year's number 1 touchdown out of the wide receiver grouping, I don't think that the Cowboys would touch him, right? So those are your 3 guys that the Cowboys will not touch. Pickens, Lamb, and Tolbert. Your gadget piece, but I'm not calling him a gadget, will be Cavante Turpin. That's your 4th guy. He brings so much to the table, right? So you got four wide receivers there. Last year you drafted a guy named Ryan Flanoy, right? Now, you're not going to give up on a guy after 1 season, right? And he was in a disadvantaged situation. So your 5th guy may be Ryan Flanoy. But the problem is that you done used a 4th round draft pick on a guy named Mingo. And the need to be right is always a thing, right? So now you got Mingo, Tolbert. Now you got on the back end. You got Mingo, Trayshawn Holden, and Jaylen Cropper. Brooks. That's too many wide receivers, man. So somebody gonna be the odd man out, and 83 in these last 3 to 4 days been showing up a little bit more than Tolbert to me. But Tolbert did catch a touchdown today, but I think it was 7 on 7 out of 11 on 11s. But it's okay, and then it was right up underneath. But neither here nor there. I'm glad I don't have to do this, and Cropper too. Jaylen Cropper, I put him into the mix too. So it's going to be extremely, ladies and gentlemen, extremely hard. It's going to be hard to figure out which wide receiver. I'm glad we don't have that problem. Trayshawn Holden, I don't think that he will survive the waivers and being able to be freed up. Ryan Flanoy, I don't think that he will be able to survive waivers. Jalen Brooks, to a degree, it's crazy when we look at all of this. Holden over Flo and Brooks. This is from Jay Lombardi. Yes, Holden been holding it down. Yes, indeed, Holden been holding it down. And then this is Jalen Tolbert. It was a nasty catch right here, Jalen Tolbert, and he's trying to let people know I'm office furniture. I'm not going nowhere. I work out privately with Dak Prescott and beyond. So this wide receiver, we got a surplus at wide receiver. Now, a great GM would be able to look at this and say, hey, I know that this is a good problem to have and to hold because I'm finna trade one of these wide receivers for a defensive tackle now or another cornerback or something, Seabass says, Mozzie and Tolbert, easy cuts, log, keep it a band. I don't know, man. Look at this play right here, man. It's gonna be difficult, man. It's going to be difficult. The more I see, all right, so I've seen, all right, so what they're gonna have to do is they can stash, if you want to just make sure you keep one, you tap Holden on the shoulder and say, hey, you got sponsors in the building, baby. You got the wide receiver coach that coached you in Oregon. Damn near followed you all the way from Alabama to Oregon. They know you, right? And he's been campaigning for you to be out there on the field and everything, right? But you need to do us a favor now. Yeah, the back of your leg, it hurts, don't it? Right? Yeah. We're gonna put you down, we're gonna put you down on the undisclosed injury. Hopefully that you clear waivers and you come back and we'll work with you, That's what they're gonna have to do, something to finagle one of these guys to stash them. You can stash Cropper, but these guys in the preseason, I done already told them, I pulled them to the side and said, hey, you want to make this team? They're like, yes, Law, I want to make this team. I'm not even the coach, but I'm going to tell you, my guy, Boss Cowboys Sports, came up with this analogy, and we use this analogy all the time. Football is just like that movie, The Gladiator. You ever seen The Gladiator? And they sitting there saying, I don't know, The Gladiator. Yeah, the guy Leonidas, whatever. Leonidas, whatever, the guy with the Spartan helmet and all of this stuff. But even though it wasn't the Spartan movie, y'all know what I'm talking about, And then he was like, yeah, well, you got to earn your freedom by showing up in preseason. You got to show up, of course, every day in practice. But if you can win the audience, you will win yourself on this team. We got living proof. Cavante Turpin, an undrafted guy, but when he showed up in that preseason game with that 4.3 speed, running them kick returns back, they said, hey, he on this team. So they're gonna have to figure out a way to win the battle in preseason. You cannot allow yourself to get hurt. You're gonna have to win that battle in preseason. All it takes is one little snag from Trayshawn Holden in preseason game. If he get a touchdown, something like that, yes, it will happen for him. You know, it would flat out happen for him. Him, Jalen Brooks, all will be forgiven if he just shows up in preseason. That is as well as with Ryan Flournoy. Yeah, I'm stashing Holden though. Yeah, it's Tolbert's job to lose. I feel you, man. And he got the biggest target on him. Don't be a Dennis Houston. Yeah, Dennis Houston survived all the way to game one, and that wasn't even preseason. But yeah, it's crazy now. It's Jaylen Cropper right here. Jaylen Cropper is nice with it, and he is athletic and crazily fast. Now, I got a chance to talk to him, and he said that he's very excited about the opportunity that you can see his full skill set because he said I got 10 giving me the ball. I said, "Oh, say less." I said you had 10 last year. He said, "Man, I got 10-10. I got 10-10 this year." And he's talking about Joe Milton. D Shift, thank you for the 199 for the support. Got to see the light ain't too bright for him. Yes, indeed. Everything is contingent upon tomorrow in the first preseason game. And that's why I'm so glad. That's why I'm so glad that we get a chance to see these guys. I told Cropper, let the game come to you. Don't rush it. Everything gonna be for what it is. When you get out there, just earn your freedom. Win the crowd. You win the crowd, you'll be on this team. And and Jaylen Cropper says, "Yes, sir." Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know, O-line looking good, long. Yeah, as long as you can get the ability to get that particular thing going, like the ability to climb the pocket and step up through a throw, shoot, that's what's everything. Um, iRock says, appreciate you, man. How are the tight ends, Schoon, John Stevens looking at camp? All I can say is there's a guy, I think he wear number 45, Fairweather. Oh my God. He is a action machine, you know what I'm saying? Brevin Spanford was getting a lot of shine before he hurt himself. You got to put 87 in the mix of being the best tight end out there. But when you start to think of like these tight end wars, it's a mini war just like the wide receiver war. But Stevens is looking a whole lot better, especially coming off of that injury. This is Trayshawn Holden. Yeah. Yeah, he just keep making plays. The only thing that what makes Mingo a little bit ahead of Holden is that we seen them work Mingo in with the number ones. Holden then worked himself from the threes to the twos. After this week, if Holden can get into the number one rotations, then we and doing this against the number one DBs, then we're sitting there saying, okay, we got something. We flat out got something. But for in the meantime, in the between time, Holden is holding it down at that spot and at what he's doing. Shout out to Trayshawn Holden. Yeah. Yeah. Maximus, it was his name. Yeah, appreciate you, Kimball, man. I messed up Maximus' name. And yeah, I messed up Maximus. The Spaniard. Yeah. That's his name. And
Entertained?
there we go.
Are you not entertained?
Is this not why you're here? Yeah, yeah. And then just understand that this dude right here, this is what he's going to be able to do. Now this is red zone drills, see what they can do, and of course, like as you can see, the offense is always at a advantage on these type of things. But it's good to see my guy three just dominating for what he could do. But here's my guy Mississippi Mingo, Mingo. Mississippi to Mississippi. Well, even though Dak he's from Louisiana, and I forgot where Mingo is absolutely from, but they went to college in Mississippi, Mississippi State to Ole Miss. And what makes 81 special, and I'm not saying that he's special, but what makes him special if he can tap in to all of his traits. Keep in mind, he works out with your boy AJ and them, AJ Brown, and as well as the other Alabama, well, not Alabama, the other, what was the guy? AJ Brown and DK Metcalf. Yeah. Keep on thinking Alabama. Lord help me. The other Ole Miss wide receivers, they all work out together. So he got the size, he got the frame, he got the subtleness of the speed, and they're working him in as the red zone situation. Now, I've seen him on slants, and it's hard to position yourself. You can play. We can talk about leverage all day, but size is size, man. I've seen him just go to a spot on the field and just dominate. Now, my thing is, yeah, this is all cool because this is practice, not a game. But if he can do this in preseason, this would be phenomenal. Now, the drop off would be that 4 is not going to play a lot in preseason. So all of the people that's going to get most of the shine are probably the people that Joe Milton throws to. The good thing is with Mingo, he started off with Joe Milton. So we'll see how that will or that should work. But I think that Mingo needs to get a lot of playing time in this preseason game to get things moving. Yeah, so Dope states facts. Tolbert, Cropper, Flanoy, Brooks equals don't scare nobody. Yeah, and those are good problems to have. Sincerely, Dope, because think about it. Tolbert, Cropper, Flanoy, Brooks, all of those guys are ancillary. Ancillary to this degree. They are not the main focal point. The focal point will be Pickens and Lamb, right? To a degree, Turpin, you still got to respect his 4.2 speed or what have you if they send him on a 9 route. So when we start thinking of like these other guys, they just need to win their one-on-one battles or just don't drop the ball when they wide the world open. And those are good problems to have. And think about this. Last season, around this time, there was no Pickens and there was no Lamb at practice. So literally, our guy that was practicing leading everything was Jaylen Tolbert, JT. So I'm glad what a difference a year make. And now we are arguing whether or not Jaylen Tolbert can even make this team when he was pretty much everything in camp last season. So we elevated in that room, believe it or not. All right. And it's Jaylen Tolbert. Speaking of Jaylen Tolbert, all right. And that's the catch across the middle. That's the catch across the middle. Shout out to Jaylen Tolbert. Yes, indeed. So you can't guard everybody, and if Jaylen Tolbert can stay for where he's at, then it could be that situation. Or just Trayshawn Holden. He said, "I can do it too, man." and Trayshawn Holden versus a Tolbert, he got a little bit more swag to him, just a little bit more swag to him. That's all. He's got a little bit more swag to him. But, but both of those guys, they fighting for a role, for a spot. for an opportunity on his team to be what they can be. For this wide receiver room. All right. And of course, that is Lyle Collins back into the football graces. Cowboy Nation, let me see what we got here. We got over 300 people watching, right at 120 likes. Um, let me know. Let me know. No Mingo in practice. We just saw Mingo. Mingo. Shout out to Mingo. All right. So let me know if you guys want to continue this stream. And I got appreciate you, Sam. Thank you so much for the Cash App, as well as James. Appreciate you for the Cash App, $5 Cash App. We really appreciate y'all. Milton got a fastball. Yes, Milton do. Milton has been phenomenal in this camp, being able to pick up the system with more authority at the front line, at the front, and being able to make necessary decisions and changing things. So that's a good thing. What I'm seeing out of Joe Milton. Can we say that Trayshawn Holden have a higher ceiling than Jalen Tolbert? Trayshawn Holden's ceiling is unfreaking believable high. Like he looks he looks he looks at times as if though he he looked like a number one wide receiver. Now, of course, he's going when he was with the threes, he dominated the threes. With the twos, he's dominating the twos. And I'm not saying that he is, but what I'm saying is just he just looked apart, right? And he's doing the small things that you would see like, hey, it's savviness, trying to get 2 feet in, working on hand-eye coordination with the balances, being physical, showing you a little moxie. You know what I'm saying? Just getting at you before and after the play. And he is an aggressive guy. Competition is doing that for him. Um, I'm not going to beat up Mozzie. I don't know what kind of injury he had sustained there at practice, but I'm gonna tell you that we hope all is well with him, as well as any other guy that could be hurt. So that's what I'm looking at with those type of things, Cowboy Nation. Keep it live, Law. I'll take Holden over all of the other three cornerbacks. Yeah, sincerely dope. Yeah, yeah. You guys remember I used to say this like if you go into a bar fight, right, and you had to pick an offensive lineman, would you pick X lineman or Y lineman? Remember I was doing that, and I don't want to say the name of the offensive lineman now, but it still stayed the same. If I'm going into a bar fight and I got to pick Holden, Tolbert, or Brooks, I'm sitting here like, yeah, Brooks, stay in the car, be the getaway guy. Tolbert, can you stay outside, be the watch out guy, be the lookout guy? Come on, Holden, let's get in here, man. Let's beat these folks up, right? I'm taking Holden to fight with me, and I'm not beating up Brooks nor Tolbert, but I don't think that these guys got that type of fight in them. Yeah, yes, indeed. So that's just for what it is. And granted, they probably look at me and say, "Hey, man, look, what you mean, dog? You know what I'm saying? You be the getaway guy, and we going in there and fight for you." But no, Brooks being the getaway driver, Tolbert is gonna stand at the door, and me and Holden, we gonna go in there and we gonna beat some tail. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't have Brooks inside fighting and he's slipping and sliding, right? And I can't have Tolbert in there, and every now and then he may give you a haymaker, he may knock somebody out, or he might get knocked out. No, no, I want somebody to go fight, man, to get back up and continue to fight. Somebody says choppy audio. Is the audio better now? Is the audio better now? Sincerely says Tolbert going to snitch, right? Yes, indeed. Brooks and Flo got to go. Man, yeah. I feel y'all with that. I feel y'all with that. Um, Most certainly, most certainly. All right, and let me see what else we have here. We're just going through some footages here before we get things going in the best way, in the proper way. Cowboy Nation, we're going to pick up part 2 of this in the AM. We're going to have some stuff that we're going to go over. I appreciate each and every last one of you guys for tuning in. There will be more and more content throughout the day. My time has expired, but there will be more stuff that we're going to go over, and maybe we talk defense before we get into the thick of things. I was going to go over the DBs and some of the defensive edge guys and tap in with y'all about Shamar James. He's doing real good, number 50. And some more guys that I think that turned the corner in the right way. Like 35, I think that he's doing pretty good. The name of the game, Cowboy Nation. Appreciate you, Sadiq Charles. Thank you so much for your support. Prayers always aimed towards your way. Sadiq Charles, she said, did anyone answer my question? How is Mozzie doing? I seen him walking off. I don't have the updates on Mozzie. Apologies for that. But I can tell you that before all of that happened, we should have seen him sliding backwards, right? So it's crazy. But neither here nor there, Cowboy Nation. Be sure to hit that like button, share this content, let friends or neighbors know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and Beyond. Holden equals Tiny Daz. Brian. Riggs. If I'm having audio issues, be sure to log out, log back in, and we'll see what we can do from there. Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate you guys so much. Let's continue to grind and shine. DC for life, not for short. That's been my time. I really thank you all. And as Jim Roman said, when the end comes for me, let it find me conquering a new mountain, not sliding down.